Every journey to a new country begins with a simple question: will I fit in? For many people from native English-speaking countries, moving to Indonesia means entering a completely unfamiliar world, a different language, different customs, and new ways of communicating turn everyday moments into new experiences. And that journey unfolds here in Semarang. Living abroad is more than discovering a new place. It is about building connections, embracing a different culture, and finding a sense of belonging. This is the story of the English-speaking diaspora in Semarang. A story of adaptation, friendship, and the everyday moments that bring cultures together. Because sometimes, home is something we create together. Every journey begins long before the first step is taken. It begins in a decision, sometimes calculated, sometimes impulsive, and sometimes made in a moment so quiet you almost missed it. For these four individuals, the journey to Semarang started in a very different places for a very different reasons. But somewhere along the way, their path all led to the same city. Semarang.
Okay, well, that's a long but short answer. I came here for work. I work for Boeing, and I'm on an assignment here, specifically working with the TNI military. My background being in aviation has allowed me to travel around the world, and this is one of my locations. And fortunately, Semarang is the only place that the Apache helicopter's at, so that's why I'm here specifically in Central Java.
Actually, it's an interesting story because I met my wife on a pen pal website 4 years ago. And so we started to have a relationship just as friends at first for a few years, but it started to develop more and more. And as we started to talk about our faith in Jesus, as we got closer and closer, we could see that there was love there. And so that's why I came out here, is to see her. And then
So sweet. Love story.
yeah. And when we met, it was like instant chemistry. So we got married pretty quickly after that.
So Semarang was my first impression, but yeah, prior to that, of course, everybody knows Bali, and everybody thinks Indonesia is Bali, and it's not. Yeah, so, you know, predominantly Muslim country, expecting, you know, a little bit more restrictive, etc. But pleasantly surprised that people are a lot more cosmopolitan, a lot more easygoing. So it's not a very strict environment where you feel, you know, that you can't express yourself.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, my first impression, as soon as I got off the airport, like any airport, is like, oh my God, what is this heat? Take me back to England now. It's so much heat. But then the honest truth is, when you're going from, so when I moved here was last July, and the heat and the humidity in England was so hot and so bad. Like, when England is hot, don't go outside. It's summertime and it's just steamy. The country's not built for it. So when you come here, everyone's like, be prepared, it's gonna be hot. I walk around like, oh, this is lovely. Breeze, airy, aircon, the building is actually built for sun. I'm like, everyone's like, oh, you okay with the weather? I was like, yeah, because when you're going from England and not built for it, and here, absolutely built for it. So weather-wise, absolutely fine. And actually I preferred it because it's more consistent. Like every day, if of course I don't have uni or formal events, you can just wear shorts and t-shirt. So yeah, a lot happy with weather here and more consistent.
For people, for completely different reasons for being here. Some came chasing a career, following opportunity, whatever it led. Others arrived for something far more personal, drawn by someone they fell in love with, a person worth crossing the world for, who happened to call Semarang home. And yet, when they speak about that first moment in Semarang, the heat on their skin, the noise of the city, the faces of strangers who would soon become familiar, something in their voices sounds the same. It sounds like the beginning of something real. Arriving somewhere new is one thing. Living here is something else entirely. For newcomers, Semarang has slowly become home.
So I would say basically, if it's a work week, my morning starts a little early. Normal wake up. Usually I'll have Terapan at work, so maybe coffee before I leave, maybe not. And then get in the car and head to the office, check in with the customer, do normal morning activities, because with military they are usually busy in the mornings, not necessarily with aircraft work, but PT and personal training and other physical things. And then that consumes most of my day. Afterwards, it all depends. I golf a lot, so I just stay a lot really active with golf. So if it's not the driving range or playing around the golf, that's usually 3 to 4 times a week. Outside of that, eating and hanging out with friends.
So we heard about your side job here. Could you share us
Side job?
side job, the
Oh,
TikTok?
no, I just have a TikTok for culinary, where I just travel around Central Java, trying different foods, making content, speaking a little bit of Bahasa Indonesia, and trying different particular foods from locations. Like my favorite food is nasi gudeg from Jogja.
Jogja.
So I do gudeg from Jogja, and then we go to Surabaya, and I've done rawan and rujak cingur, and and everything, and yeah.
I am surprised at certain things in the culture and the customs. Thankfully, my wife has been helping me to adapt and teaching me and how to use your right hand to give gifts to people and stuff like that. And to be kind of formal, it's more formal here than in America. Addressing older people with a certain titles rather than just saying their name, be more polite in that way, stuff like that.
My most transportation I use here is GoCheck. It's literally GoCheck all day long, and it's GoCheck like car, not GoCheck motorbike. No. I've tried motorbike. I'm like, no, get me back in the car. That's literally GoCheck. Or if, of course, I'm with family or friends, I'm literally in the car with them. Apart from that, that's it really. I tried the bus once from university, so from UNES, and my apartment was based at the North Campus.
Oh yeah.
So I got the bus from UNES to there. Everyone's like, "Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine." No,
you're not fine.
I was hot. I was bothered. I was shaking all about. And they were like, "But it's so cheap." I'm like, "Yeah, but it took me 2 hours from door to door. I was hot and bothered. I was just like, and then I got back and my stomach was aching. I was like, nah, it's all good." So yeah, that was one experience, and not doing bus again.
I would say it's 50-50. It's 50-50. Because of the distance and being early in the morning and rain, sometimes I always don't use the motorbike. But yeah, I usually use motorbike for short transportation, especially I was going to do motorbike here, but was worried who's on,
Yeah.
It started doing this a little bit. Yeah, so.
Their daily activities now follow a rhythm of their own. A favorite warung, a familiar route to campus or work, small routines that no longer feel foreign. Getting around means relying on ojek online, motorbikes, or public buses, and learning, sometimes the hard way, which roads flood with people.
Initially was the language, of course. I come from an English-speaking background, and I worked always in English-speaking areas. Although I've traveled to Europe, etc., but you still get by with English. It was difficult here in the beginning, not with work because most people had conversational English, but more when you go out to restaurants or try to ask people for directions or buy something in the mall, you find that fewer people spoke English. And as soon as you start speaking English, they'd run away and somebody else would come out and try and talk to you. So it's, yeah. But now, because I have a little bit of conversational Bahasa Indonesia, so I think I can get by a lot better. Yeah.
Most questions I get is, why are you here? Why did you choose Indonesia? And also, what do you think of the weather or the traffic? If you get used to those questions, and then you're off, and it just, yeah. And then you make a lot of friends, a lot of people suddenly know you, and then suddenly people wave to you, hey, Nick. I'm like, I don't know who you are, but nice to see you.
Adapting to local customs meant picking up on things no one writes down. How to greet a neighbor with the right warmth, when to speak, and when to simply listen and understanding. Of course, it wasn't always smooth. There were moments of miscommunication and quiet frustration, but there were also moments of revelation, when something once foreign suddenly made sense, and they realized they'd changed, slowly for the better.
So that building the spin-off.
For Bochil, maybe 50-50. Some scared, some not scared. Some very excited to talk and speak and little malu, but excited. You can see they're smiling. And some just scared between anything, especially if I'm speaking Bahasa Indonesia. And then as for everyone else, it's pretty smooth.
One time, walking by a school, all the little kids ran to the gate shouting, "Boule, hello!" Hello. I kind of feel like a celebrity. People have asked me to take a picture with them. So that has been a cool experience.
So you're not getting like irritated by that?
No, not at all. Maybe it comes from my filmmaking performance background where I'm okay with it. I studied a lot of improvisation. So making stuff up on the spot and dealing with new situations is what I'm trained to do. So it's not annoying or anything like that.
Jowo, everything's long. O's and young and yo. And it's hard for me to see that and read that because my tongue doesn't do that very well.
But how do you learn Japanese?
Scroll TikTok, or when I hear someone speaking or I know people, I ask, well, what is that? What is this? What is that? And that's how I learned Indonesian. I've never taken a class. I've never done any Duolingos or anything like that. I just learned from hearing things, sometimes watching film. I watch Indonesian movies and put in the English subtitles and listen and read. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's okay. I know that word. Yeah. So that's usually how.
Thank you. Mongo. Yeah. Tresno. Kowe. The song. I listened to the song. My favorite dangdut Indonesian singer is Yeni Inka. So if you know the words of Anggal, yeah, you'll use.
So at first, I think some of the go-truck drivers at first tried to speak to me in local Bahasa, and sometimes say things. I'm like, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. And then sometimes the funny ones is when some of the go-truck drivers go, "Sorry, sir, I don't know very good English." And then we sometimes have a conversation for 10 minutes about football. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have good? And then they start to go, oh, my favorite player when I was younger was Michael Owen. Or they'll tell me like David Beckham or like football, or they'll talk about me. Oh, I really want to go see Manchester United one day, or Liverpool, or they'll start going, oh, sorry, sir, I don't know much English, but they'll go, why are you here? Are you okay with the weather? Or they go, oh, so I just picked you up from Unis. Are you a lecturer? And I go, no, a student. And they're like, look at me and go, a student? Really? I'm like, thanks. So I think at first it was like Bahasa, but now when I go to drive, mostly it's majority. The good amount of drivers I speak to, if it's sometimes I can speak partly Bahasa and then partly English or mix of both, basically. or some of them I get in and they'll try to say something and we best just sit in silence for half an hour.
Here, when you're interacting with a stranger, it's more like strangers there and you're here and you're being very polite. There's a kind of a distance between the person while you're talking to them. When you're interacting with someone older, she has explained to me that you need to be very polite, very proper, and treat them with respect. And in America, there's none of that. It's very casual, straight to the point. Yeah, you can kind of be close to people, and there's no big deal. You can speak slang. Slang is a big part of American culture. Here, there's not really much slang. And she told me the difference between saying something informal way and saying the same thing in a casual way. I'm like, but why would you? It's the same meaning. Well, I don't understand.
Like, mas, yeah, minta bill, huh? Minta bill? Indonesian, yeah, minta bill. Oh, bill, yeah, okay, yeah. We said the same thing. We said the same speaking. Not even, we're speaking your language, and because they're just looking completely confused. That happens. And the other side, the people are very, very shocked and happy, and
Like I've already used the example of when you hand things to people, use your right hand. She's told me that when you like pass in front of elderly people, you should kind of lower your head for respect. Being very polite with how you interact with the environment, like make sure everything's nice and tidy, pushing your chair, basic manners. Oh, one thing in America that I found fascinating. One thing in America is like if I have a bunch of food and I don't want to finish it, or I think you might like it, I'll say, here, you can have the rest. And she said that's rude. It's like giving away trash or your leftovers, and people don't like, they take offense to that. But in America, it's seen as a positive thing. Like you're sharing, you're like, here, you can have the last donut, or you can have the rest of my food. And apparently that's not a good thing here.
Here, maybe
Yeah.
locally it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I would say some of the best experiences I had were linked with, let's say, Eid, for example. Eid is just amazing. Basically, like that was my first Eid celebrating as a Muslim, and when you, how to say, like when you wake up in England and someone goes, okay, we need to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning to pray. I'm like, huh? But here, everyone's like, it's fine, don't worry. We wake up, it's chilled, and everyone's like, don't worry, we'll go pray all together. And it's like a lovely community feeling. Everyone's together, everyone doesn't judge people, everyone's there, everyone's looking after each other, and it's lovely, like community spirit.
Semarang is still the place that I would probably, I like the best. Maybe I spend the most time, but I also feel more comfortable in Semarang in that, it's big, but it's small enough to be able to get around and you know where everything is.
So basically, I found that it between the people being welcoming, the food being good, and it's gonna be funny, but the weather actually being very nice. It does rain, and you guys do say it's hot, but if you travel outside of this area, it's not that hot. It's really not that hot. You have a consistent temperature all year round. You just have rain or no rain. And so it can be refreshing. A lot of rain does suck, but it can be refreshing. But I would say between the weather, the people, and the food, that's what, if I could have a chance to stay here forever, I probably would, honestly.
I think it's the people. I find that when you're in Jakarta, I can notice the difference in the people. And not by looking at them, but the way they behave, the way they are. Jakarta people seem more busy and more distant and more disinterested. With Semarang, people are very interested. If you ask somebody or you talk to somebody, they give you their full attention.
Yeah.
So I find that in Semarang or Central Java, really, it's like that, which is very nice.
Personally, I would say it's where my new family roots are, and where my family are based, and where they all work and they all live, and we are here. But also what makes this city a lot more personable, more than other cities, was, I would say, we're very I think the people are very welcome and very community minded, and they help each other. I can remember the first week I was here. Unfortunately, I had to attend a funeral, and it was really sad to attend the funeral. But the one thing I learned from that, and that's again what I learned, and I always say to people that yes, it was really sad to see, of course, someone died, unfortunately someone passed, but the one experience I learned from that was the whole community came together, the whole community helped each other. There was people setting up the unit, the tent, the unit, people putting out chairs, people giving out food, people giving support. And it was one of my first experiences going, like, this is amazing to see. And I absolutely adore and love the people, love the city, love the culture. And I want to live here and live the rest of my years in Indonesia.
My goal as a filmmaker is to help people see the world in unique ways, to try to see your life in a new perspective through someone else's eyes or through a different way of living, so that you can better understand other people and how they're living and why they do the things they do, so that we can relate to people on a more human level. And there's not so much divide. And so coming here, her exposing me to the different cultures, the different tribes, the different movies, Indonesian movies are even way different. And so seeing that has really helped me to see new ways to do my own art.
A city is not remembered only for its buildings or its landmarks, but for the people who make it feel alive. These four arrived in Semarang as strangers, each carrying different expectations and stories. Along the way, they faced language barriers, cultural differences, and moments of uncertainty. Yet, through everyday interactions, they found friendship, acceptance, and a place where they could belong. Perhaps that is what makes Semarang special. Not because it is the biggest city, but because it quietly brings people from different cultures together. Every shared conversation, every act of kindness, and every new friendship becomes part of a larger story. In the end, what stays with us is not only the places we visit, but the people we meet and the connections we build. Sometimes, a city becomes unforgettable simply because it becomes part of who we are.